All right, ladies and gentlemen, I fear in this video I'm going to offend everybody, so be ready for that. Because, in my opinion, Republicans are acting like total dipshits, and Democrats are acting like total dipshits. And so, we become like a dipshit country. Now, I'm talking about November 4th, because once again, in the long line of doom dates, we got a new doom date. So what do we got to be scared of today? Let's find out. Well, apparently, it's Antifa and the DOD, Department of Defense, drill. Now, one of the things I've noted is that somehow the media has become part of the stories that are actually covering. So, that InfoWars, Alex Jones, November 4th, it begins. The left promises to launch a communist revolution on November 4th. Hey, Alex, they don't have that power, man. So it's going to be another protest, right? So, you know, it's either Rapture, Nibiru, or, oh my God, the people who don't like guns and don't want guns are going to overthrow us. Now, conservatives, if you bring a gun to a gunfight and they bring a shank to the gunfight, who's going to win? So I just think it's weird that people are scared of Antifa when, like, I don't know anyone who knows anyone who's an Antifa. I know MAGA people. I don't know any Antifa people. So I'm just saying, we don't need to be worried about Antifa. Well, I mean, some shit may go down tomorrow. Like, you know, I would guess there may be like 1,000 Nazis in America, and everybody's all freaked out because there were 1,000 Nazis that got together. And it's like, dude, that's the same size that group has been for 30 years. And the same thing with, like, these Antifa people. Like, why someone would go to a protest, I do not know, because it's a mob, and then you can have, like, 3 or 4 agent tours, do something to incite the mob, or start a riot, or, you know, throw a Molotov cocktail. So, you can have agent tours, cause chaos. We've seen this happen several times. So why would you show up? Like, what are the chances something's going to go wrong? Pretty high. What are the chances something really great is going to come out of this protest? Really low. So why would a sane person say, yeah, I'm going to go, I got nothing better to do. I'm going to go protest. So I ain't worried about Antifa. And sometimes I giggle at all the stuff the conservatives are worried about. Oh man. And just, I got to say, it is no fun having everybody either talk about Trump or Hillary 24/7. Like, oh my God, can we get some diversity? And when I say diversity right now, I'm talking about diversity in the things we talk about. I'm so tired of talking about politicians all the time, every day. And so Zero Hedge was like, oh my God, DOD playing solar storm-based national blackout drill during Antifa protests in November. And so it's like the Antifa, man, Antifa is such a created crap in my mind. So it's like, that's the cover story. Because I want to remind you guys, I'm going to trigger you guys to come and talk about Barack Obama and something good and cool he did. Was before he left, he did an executive order coordinating efforts to prepare the nation for space weather events. All right? Went under the radar. And I got a feeling he's a big THORNEWS fan. So I thought this was really cool. I'm talking about this one thing he did. You know, I like the guy now that he's not president. Like, I like George W. Bush now that he's not president. I like to like people that may make you people mad. I don't like to hate anybody. I would rather spend time talking about how awesome I am than spend time talking about how individuals are bad. So a lot of people want to talk about how horrible Trump is or how horrible Obama is. Like, that is just not how I want to spend the last 30 days of our life. The last 3 months of civilization, people. It does look like it's all going to fall apart soon because nobody's ever going to get together. Everybody's just going to argue and bicker. And so what I'm saying is, a year ago, October 13th, 2016, oh my God, it's 13, Ron. And then it's 10, and it's 23. Holy crap, Jim Carrey's going to come in and piss on our cornflakes. Which means, you know, you'll have to find something else to eat. Okay, so, yeah, space weather, man. Ain't nobody talking about space weather. Like, so, I don't think Alex Jones will be talking about space weather, and other people are talking about, oh my God, November 4th. Even here, the Antifa is taking the space weather out of the conversation. It even says in the DOD drill, a national massive coronal mass ejection event. Impact power grid. And we've seen in Puerto Rico and even I think it's Massachusetts now. They had their hurricane thing on Sunday that I covered. It's Friday and they still have like 90,000 homes without power. That have been without power for 5 days. Our grid is a mishmash of old crap. And our Congress could have rebuilt it over the last 30 years for $100 billion and they've chose not to. So they've left us wide open. And the way that before 2017 started, and I predicted that we would see $1 trillion worth of severe weather damage this year in the United States, and right on the money, the way I predicted that is through my solar science, my solar observations. The way I predicted 2 landfalling hurricanes was off the sun's activity and the effects that we've seen in Asia. And so all of my stuff, all my weather stuff has come based off the sun. When I tell you guys the sun's getting weirder, so the weather's going to get weirder, it's because the sun has been acting weird for like 3 years, bro. I mean, literally, I don't know. I just stopped covering solar science so much just because, I don't know. It's alarming. And so it's weird. And the sun has been acting very different. The September of like a couple months ago, that was the most active solar minimum period I've ever seen. I mean, that was just wow. And so if Barack Obama is doing an executive order to prepare us for space weather, and now the DOD is preparing for some crazy space weather, and I've been talking about space weather for like 5 years, it's a thing. And so I think, once again, we got a real story here, but the real story isn't Antifa. Now there may be some conservative who runs over Antifa people, or an Antifa who runs over conservatives, or, you know, a nihilist wearing a George Carlin costume may plummet from like 100 stories and kill a conservative and a Democrat. I don't know. There may be some event that captures all the media attention tomorrow. But the main story here, in my mind, is space weather. And so, you know, you got 97% of scientists who are like, no, climate change, the only thing that affects climate is carbon. And they've got like one solar scientist on the payroll in the whole world, and that's Tamitha Skov, who's awesome and tells us as much as they can. That if you look at solar science budget of NASA compared to the carbon budget of NASA, it's like 1,000 to 1, or even dark matter. NASA spent, and not even NASA, but like NASA's government. So, you know, they're trying to keep us in a petroleum state. You know, the petroleum engine was invented in 1880. Your car still runs on petroleum. They never want us to get to new technologies. And hey, if the sun goes supernova, then it's all pointless anyways. And so that's my whole point of the thing, man. Like, they just roll out Boogeyman every day. It was like, I think the funniest thing I saw the last few days was his name? Jack Pobusiak. Like a Twitter employee shut off Donald Trump's Twitter account for 11 minutes. So for 11 minutes, Donald Trump didn't have access to his Twitter account, which I thought was funny. And so Jack Pobusiak, who's a conservative alt-right commentator, said, do you realize how dangerous this is, that just a Twitter employee could have access to President Trump's account? This puts all of our families in danger. And man, you know, it's like everything puts us in danger these days. Yeah, I agree. Society could collapse any second now. Like, everything is so unstable, and everybody's just arguing and bickering all the time. Like, you don't hear me talking about, yeah, let's all come together much anymore, because it's like, I don't see, dude, whatever one group is running the media, and it is not liberal, is not conservative, it is trillionaire, man. It is, you know, royalty. And I'm talking like old Martian royalty. They're running the show, and they don't give a shit. They give a shit about money. They don't give red or blue, they like green and petroleum for some weird ass reason. So here we are kicking our own asses, and the score for America is like, we're down 20 trillion, and they're up like 40 trillion. And the sun is freaking out, and the weather's freaking out, and anything that seems to be near the truth is not getting any time. And so, I don't know, I'm saying there are a lot of things we're going to be worried about these days. And so I'm not really worried about Antifa. Though, you know, I wouldn't be surprised, and I would guess that some event will happen so, you know, the media can talk about it for 2.5 days until the next super weird story comes out. At this point, we're basically getting a super weird story 1.3 days. Yep, every 1.3 days we're going to get a Las Vegas shooting or a Harvey Weinstein reveal or a Clinton uranium indictment or, you know, a Trump cabinet member Russian fandango or, you know, you name it, man. It's going to keep coming out. And so, shit, I'm surprised they're still milking this NFL players kneeling. They'll be able to probably milk that into the off season. And space weather. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything gets its day. Like, everybody talks about Trump all day, every day. Everybody talks about Hillary all day, every day. Everybody talks about, like, George Soros all day, every day. Everybody talks about the Koch brothers all day, every day. Man, it's like space weather's one day. And so, the truth community should be like, okay, yeah, another real story here. Space weather. It's the sun. Sun's freaking out. That's why the clouds look weird. Shit, at times I think the interstellar medium, which is the space dust and crap in there, it's sentient. It's like, what if there are aliens in the dust? Like, literally, the aliens are just little dust. That's what it looks like in the clouds sometimes. Like, I think that cloud is alive. The cloud is staring at me. That cloud is sexy. Is it legal for me to have sex with the cloud? What if we just go to third base? God, third base sounds so good. They're talking about, oh yeah, another doom date. Yep, Nibiru's gonna kill us all, November 4th. Somebody's like, don't make fun of Nibiru. I'm like, at this point, I'm making fun of everything. Another thing, conservatives, why did you elect a guy as president if you couldn't handle people criticizing him? You know, he's president. Every president has been heavily criticized their entire reign of being president. So he's going to be president. People are going to criticize him. He still won. And it's like, another thing is that he literally goes on Twitter and complains about people and things all day, every day. So he's complaining about people. So you should just be more open to have people complain about him. Don't take it so personally. But we live in the age right now where if someone disagrees with someone, that's enough for them to dehumanize them. Like, you're evil, or you're not human, or you're an idiot. It's like, dude, we just disagree, you know? Ain't that big a deal. It ain't evil that I disagree, you know? I think that we're not doing a good job in Puerto Rico. There are like 1,000 people dead now, 950 post-hurricane. Half the island still doesn't have power. That's bad. We could have done way better. We could do way better. And like, people take it personally. It's like, no, it's all the what is it? The union truckers' fault for not picking up the goods. They're too lazy. I'm like, dude, have you seen the footage that I've seen? It's like all those roads are totally destroyed. Bridges totally wiped out. You even understand the situation? You know, you have to get past your talking points. But I don't know. I guess these days it's just more comfortable for people not to have to think or do the research. They'll let other people think for them. So I'm saying the big player here is space weather. And the big player has been space weather. So, just, if we're going to talk about something tomorrow, it'll be space weather. I guess I'll make some sun videos. I'll finally finish the video I was doing about September. Where like, hell yeah, dude, the sun was super freaking out. The sun's been super freaking out. What do you think I came up with my phrase? When the sun acts weird, Earth weather acts weird, and then people go crazy. It's true. Look at those rain bands, man. Anyway, I'm here talking to you. And it's like everybody's mad at everybody these days. Very few people like very few people. It's easier for people to dislike people. So more and more people can be like, you know what, THORNEWS? I used to like you, but I don't like you anymore. I'm like, okay, it's fine. You know? Like, my tolerance for people's gotten way low lately. Like, I've been here trying to get people to come together, trying to, quote, unquote, save the world, get civilization to not collapse. And that looks like, you know, that ain't working. So I realized if all these people literally don't care about me, it makes it a lot harder to care about everybody. So at this point, I still care about everybody, but it's just that I'm not going to let other people's opinions bother me. Now, any information you'll give me, or if we politely disagree, that is cool. But, you know, I don't know how many people lately, in like one line, they're just like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm Thor of THORNEWS. Do you know who you're talking to, man? It's like literally because I do not agree with their political point or viewpoint, I am then automatically just some worthless idiot. And it's just sad, you know? Like, I would much rather spend my time talking about how awesome I am than putting another individual down. And people are like, your ego's too big. Well, so like, pick one, man. I can either say, oh, Johnny's an asshole. Or I can be like, you know what? I'm awesome. I make good music. I make cool videos. I make good points. And, as far as covering hurricanes in the most hurricane year of all time, I'm definitely in the top percentage of hurricane reporters in 2017. And have gotten very, very, very little credit for it. But, you know, whatever. I'm definitely going to get paid for it. Oh, by the way, THORNEWS is a publicly funded channel. It rent today. You guys pay my salary since I do this full-time job. And I did put in 3 months where I just fucking worked my ass off. And almost went crazy. And so if you'd like to donate or contribute, that would be wonderful. There's a PayPal link in the top of the box. And the new announcement I gave is I now have a P.O. box. It is so true. I have a P.O. box. There it is. THORNEWS, P.O. Box 35946, Houston, Texas, 77235-5946. My 5-year anniversary will be November 23rd. So if you want to say thanks, you can either contribute to the PayPal link and you can send me something in my P.O. box and I will do an unboxing right around the 23rd. I'll figure out some type of live show. I'll figure out how to do live shows and shit. We will try to celebrate my 5th year anniversary somehow. Yeah. So that, you know, the whole point of this whole video was just, I'm the truth community guy saying what it's about. This is what this day is about. Could be wrong. And Antifa may set off a nuke. I don't think that's going to happen. The martial law in my mind, man. The martial law in my mind. So, Space Weather. So yeah, I get 24 hours to talk about Space Weather. Sweet. The sun. She's been acting weird. I invite you to go watch the sunrise and go watch the sunset. Watch as many as you can. You see what I'm talking about. People in the know, man. People in the know. Anyway, stay cool. It's always good to talk to you.